Welcome to the Lodge. From the riverbanks to the end zones, we're diving deep into everything that matters most to the colony. You're listening to State of the Beavers. I'm your host, Brian, and whether you're a diehard alum, a nature enthusiast, or just here for the ecosystem, we've got you covered. Today on the show, we're breaking down the latest headlines, checking the pulse of the community, and asking the big questions that define our state today. Grab your gear, a beer, and settle in. It's time to gnaw through the noise. This is the State of the Beavers, starting right now.
All right, so if you thought the college football season was going to be predictable, well, week 2 just blew that whole idea to smithereens. We saw some truly stunning upsets, massive ranking shifts, and yep, a brand new team at the top of the mountain. Let's break down how the entire college football world got turned on its head. You know, just 1 week ago, things felt pretty simple. The Georgia Bulldogs were the undisputed, unanimous #1 team in the country. Seriously, they looked unstoppable, like the clear favorite to just run the table. But as you know, in college football, undisputed can last about as long as a TV timeout. One single game, one absolutely stunning upset, and everything changed. So yeah, the chaos from Saturday has officially redrawn the map. The top of the polls has been completely reshuffled and a new power has claimed the throne. Stepping right into that void are the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, they started the week at #2, took care of business against Texas, and then just got to watch all the disruption unfold from the perfect spot. And the reward? Oh, just the coveted #1 ranking in all of college football. Okay, so how did we get here, right? How does a #1 team fall so far, so fast? Well, it all comes down to a few key games that completely upended the national championship picture. This was the big one, the earthquake. #1 Georgia goes into Louisville, and the 10th-ranked Cardinals pull off the biggest upset of this young season, winning it 38-32. And look, Louisville wasn't just happy to be there. They took the fight right to the champs, they controlled the line of scrimmage, and they won the turnover battle. This wasn't just a loss for Georgia, you guys. This was a fundamental shift in the entire national title race. All of a sudden, that invincible team looked vulnerable, and the path to the championship was thrown wide open for like a dozen other teams. And Georgia wasn't the only top team to get punched in the mouth. #4 Texas A&M got absolutely handled by #13 Arizona State, losing 38-24. And this wasn't some fluke. The Sun Devils dominated this game, and it instantly elevated them from just a contender to a legitimate playoff threat. So, with big upsets come big consequences in the polls. Let's take a look at which teams really capitalized on all the turmoil and which ones paid the ultimate price. Now, this is what's really interesting. The reward for those giant slaying performances, you've got Arizona State, who skyrockets 8 spots all the way up to #5. And Louisville, after knocking off #1, they vault 7 spots to land at #3 in the nation. I mean, those are absolutely huge jumps. Of course, for teams to climb, others have to fall. And the tumbles this week were steep, they were punishing, and they completely reshaped the top 25. And man, this table just illustrates how brutal that fallout really was. Texas A&M, who was a top 4 playoff contender, plummets 10 spots to #14. The former #1, Georgia, free falls 8 spots down to #9. And even Texas, after a tough loss to the new #1, they also drop 8 spots. Just wild. All that chaos at the top? Well, it opened the door for some new blood. So let's welcome to the rankings Notre Dame, who come in at #23, and Tennessee, sneaking in at #25. So the turmoil didn't just affect the teams. Oh no. It completely scrambled the race for the Heisman Trophy, you know, the sport's most prestigious individual award. So, no surprise here, with Ohio State taking the top spot, their quarterback DJ Legway vaults into the role of Heisman favorite. But look closely here. Right behind him are 2 Georgia players who balled out even in a loss. And the hero of that big upset, Louisville's Mark Fletcher Jr., who now enters the top 5. Now, while those guys are the frontrunners, there was another player who put up a stat line so ridiculous this past weekend that he just forced his way into the conversation with sheer volume. 4. That is how many touchdowns Cotteris Hicks of Pittsburgh caught in their win. 4 scores in a single game for a wide receiver is it's almost unheard of, and it's put him firmly on the Heisman map. And this is why the Heisman race is so fascinating. Even though Georgia lost, you can see exactly why their stars are still in the hunt. London Humphreys had over 200 yards receiving with 2 scores, and their quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, threw for over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, those are incredible numbers, even in a losing effort. So, after a week that turned everything upside down, what's next? Let's look ahead to week 3, because the schedule is absolutely loaded with matchups that could create even more disruption. Our first game to watch is a potential powder keg. You've got 11th-ranked Auburn hosting the newly ranked #25 Tennessee Volunteers. It's a classic SEC showdown with massive implications for both teams. So you have a top 15 team at home against the number 25 team. The favorite seems kind of obvious, right? Well, in a season like this, nothing is obvious. That's right. The experts believe the lower-ranked team, Tennessee, is actually favored to win this game by 3 points. We're talking a field goal. That tells you everything you need to know about how dangerous the Volunteers are, and really sets this up as a huge potential upset. And the action does not stop there. A wounded number 9 Georgia is only a narrow 2.5-point favorite on the road against Oklahoma. That means they're expected to win by less than a field goal. You've got a huge rivalry game between Oregon State and Oregon, and the new number 5 Arizona State has a tricky road test. I mean, looking at this map, there are landmines everywhere. Week 2 proved that no one is safe and that every single Saturday can completely rewrite the story of the season. The top of that mountain is slippery, and more chaos is almost certainly on the way. The only question is, who's going to survive it?
Welcome to the debate. We're looking at Oregon State, who started the season 2-0 in a way that just defies conventional logic. Coach Caleb Ward has completely blown up the roster, started a bunch of kids, and produced 2 absolute blowouts. So the question is, has Oregon State actually arrived as a Pac-12 power, or is this just a fragile success story that's ready to snap? I'm arguing that this step over or be stepped on culture is the real deal.
And I'm arguing that you're confusing a hot streak with, actual structural integrity. When you let 21 seniors walk and rely on a roster that's basically a high school all-star team, you don't have stability, you have variance. I mean, sure, you get extreme highs, but you're also setting yourself up for catastrophic lows. This team feels like a bubble just waiting to burst.
Okay, call it variance, but the scoreboard says dominant. We didn't just scrape by Cincinnati and Michigan State. We crushed them. That 35-18 win against Michigan State, that was in the pouring rain. And, young teams are supposed to fold in bad weather. They panic. Ward's freshmen, they did it. And that proves discipline isn't about age, it's about buy-in. Respect is harder than hope. We're actually seeing it on the field.
We're seeing it against bad teams. Let's just be honest about that. Cincinnati is rebuilding from the ground up, and Michigan State is, they're a mess. Beating them doesn't fix the fact that you lost proven starters like your tight end Riley Williams and replaced them with totally unproven talent. You're talking up the 47th ranked recruiting class like it's a dynasty in the making. This is a house of cards that hasn't been hit by a gust of wind yet.
Maybe not, but we certainly threw the first punch by starting James McCauley over Malek Murphy. I mean, that is the definition of a bold move. A sophomore over a senior who decided to stay for his final year? That tells the locker room one thing: the best man plays. Period. McCauley went out there and threw 3 touchdowns in the rain. He has a ceiling that Murphy just doesn't.
He also has a floor that should be terrifying. You're just going to ignore the interception on his second pass against Michigan State? Against the soft defense, okay, you get a do-over. But now you're staring down the barrel of Oregon in week 3. If McCauley makes that same mistake against the Ducks, that game is over. Benching a veteran stabilizer like Murphy for a kid who might just melt under pressure, I don't see that as bold. I think it's reckless.
It's not reckless if your defense dictates the terms of the game, and that's exactly what they're doing. This isn't some bend, don't break unit anymore. It's violent. We saw 5 sacks last week. We have freshmen like Theo Meredith and Tony Crawley actually getting to the quarterback. They aren't waiting for the offense to make a mistake. They're forcing the issue.
That aggression is masking a pretty serious lack of fundamental talent. Look at the scheme. Last year, they used that zone shell look, dropping the safeties 25 yards deep to confuse Oregon. It worked because it was a gimmick.
A gimmick that worked.
It worked once, because once it's on tape, it's dead. Oregon knows the trick now. And when they don't fall for the deep safeties, it comes down to your linebackers winning one-on-one matchups. And you're trying to survive in a 16-team super conference with freshman linebackers? I mean, outside of Van Wells, who on this roster is a preseason all-Pac-12 talent? The answer is nobody. You can't scheme your way around a talent deficit forever.
Look, I think you're underestimating the mental edge here. The rematch against Oregon isn't just about who has more talent. It's about the blueprint. We beat them 42-10 last year. We held them scoreless for 3 quarters. That creates a psychological advantage. Ward knows how to beat them, and it doesn't matter who is wearing the jersey.
And I think history is a very poor shield against a better roster. Oregon will be prepared for the zone shell this time. And when that scheme fails, you're left with a young quarterback and an even younger defense against a national title contender. All that step-over bravado evaporates pretty fast when you're suddenly down by 2 scores.
So to summarize, I believe Oregon State has graduated from learning to win to expecting to win. The youth isn't a liability, it's the engine driving this whole thing.
And I say that engine is running way too hot, and it just lacks the parts to last a full season. The crash is coming, and that lack of depth is going to make it ugly.
Well, we won't have to wait very long to find out. Week 3 against Oregon is the judge and jury on all of this. Thanks for listening to The Debate.
45 miles separate the cities of Eugene and Corvallis, but the number of barbs and shots thrown back and forth between these 2 institutions could fill a distance triple that size. What a matchup we have for you in the battle for the state of Oregon. Welcome to Corvallis, Reser Stadium, home of the Oregon State Beavers. As we'll see the number 17 team in the country, the Oregon Ducks, taking on a participant from the playoff last year, the Oregon State Beavers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by a couple of legends, and yes, we do use that term loosely. David Pollack from the University of Georgia and former Gator Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's get down to the field. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. So Oregon's offense will have first crack at this one. Oregon State fans able to clap for the Beavers the last time they met as they destroyed Oregon.
And man, they quieted all those loud Duck fans. They smashed the Ducks a year ago. They brought some confidence to Corvallis. They got excited. They're trying to build on this for their future of their program.
I feel like, David, last year, too, that caught Oregon, that caught a lot of college football fans by surprise. We're used to seeing the Beavers run the football and play defense, but the way they jumped out on their in-state rival was shocking. Let's see if they can do that again.
Looking for a crease to the left. Makes a stop in the backfield. He'll lose 4.
I love when defensive backs come up and they are physical and they stick their face in the fan and they aren't scared. Talking to the defensive coordinator coming into this game, he knew his DBs had to tackle well. They had to get these running backs on the ground. Great start on this first drive.
And he runs through 1 tackle and picks up a few.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
They'll run play action. Under pressure, and down he goes at the 33.
I think a big part of the formula to this team's success is their ability to get after the quarterback. In game 1, they had 6 sacks and obviously won that football game. They know coming into this one today, they have got to be able to get after the quarterback, and they're off to a great start.
They'll get down and put a stop to this return. They'll mark it at the 32. So Oregon State's offense will get the ball for the first time. And after that performance last week, Jesse, it'll be interesting to see if they can get the big tight end as involved as he was a week ago.
He really did, and he was good out in the field. He was good down near the red zone. He's a matchup problem that you know this quarterback is going to be trying to find early in this game. The defense has to have a plan for him, David. It'll be interesting to see how they try to defend him.
Well, and that's the problem. It's so hard when your best playmaker is a tight end to plan for him, because how you treat him is everything, and they can still run the football with him, and they can still throw it to him, and he's just a nightmare matchup. And you know, you want to slow him down, like make some of those easy touches a little bit harder for him, but you know he's going to get his.
Breaks into the open, and he's brought down after a nice gain.
Now you put those slot receivers in there, and here's why you do it. You back him off the football a lot of times, but who's guarding him? A lot of times those are linebackers. Those are safeties. You get those good matchups where you can feature one of your speedsters, and a lot of times good things happen.
Good execution. They move the sticks, and they've got it at the 33.
First down, physicality wins football games. Being able to run the football and create balance. And right here, just choose up another first down, gives you another chance to maybe continue to run the football.
And I feel like this guy, too, is just an explosive play waiting to happen. His vision, his quickness, and he's got to burst. If you give this guy just a crease, he's going to hit it. And right now, he's doing some damage on this defense.
The Beavers in a good spot here with 2nd and short. The give to the running back from the shotgun. And how about the work up front by that big defensive line?
Stopping the run is very high on every defensive coordinator's list. Making the team one-dimensional. Nice job stuffing the run on that play right there.
To the ground to try to pick up the first. They've got it just outside the red zone. They'll move the chains. It's at the 21.
And talking to the OC this week, getting this running back going was step number one. It was priority number one. He said it makes the whole offense go. Like, he is the bell cow. He is the guy. This offense doing exactly what they set out to do on this first drive.
What a hit by the defender. That's a good throw, and that was going to be caught. But how about the defender dislodging the football from its intended target? Nice job.
From the gun, running back gets to give. Really good running, gets it into the red zone, and they'll have it at the 16. The Beavers have moved it inside the 20. Shotgun snap, wants to throw it on 3rd. Got some room, headed to the goal line. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Beavers! And it feels good to land that first big punch against a rival, doesn't it?
No doubt. In a game like this, too, you just want to be executing it at a high level early. So, David, that's got to feel great getting on the board first.
And settles everyone down. All the nerves, all the emotion of this rivalry game. Now everybody can kind of settle in because you know you already got a touchdown on the board.
They get set for the point after as we have the first score of the game. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. A 67-yard touchdown drive there, and it was capped off with an impressive 16-yard run for the score. Fielded in the end zone. It's low. That is a decision he will likely regret. He brings it out of the end zone, and he's knocked down at the 10. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. He stopped just a chain link or two away from the first down and sets them up beautifully here. And the Ducks have a lot of options on 2nd and inches. Catch in the middle, it's Casper. Has plenty for the first down, and they stop him at the 28.
Well, they execute the in route. Now, how about the arm strength by the QB? That was an absolute bullet on that completion.
Now on first down from the 28. Dropping back, it's Dampier. Snags it over the middle. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. It seems as if this old feud has been going on since Lewis and Clark set the foundation for the Oregon Trail. They've been playing since 1894, guys.
Game's been played for a long time, a lot on the line in the state of Oregon. Bragging rights, Jesse, for a whole year.
I feel like it's one of the rivalries in college football that maybe a lot of people don't talk about or really know about. But if you've ever been around this game, you know about the tradition and the history and the emotions surrounding this game. This is easily one of the best rivalries in college football.
Wants to throw it. Lofts one high and deep. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. The Ducks will try to pin them back with the punt. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. He'll try to field the punt and see if he can give his offense better field position. Coverage team gets the job done, and they'll mark him down at the 38-yard line. First play of the drive comes from the 38. Out of the chute, quick toss to the right. They're working their way toward midfield. He's out of bounds at the 46.
During the week, you got to talk to your quarterback. Quarterback, what do you like? What's your favorite, safest routes, easiest reads? Love coming out with those early with the short passing game.
And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. Takes it from the gun on third down. That'll be enough for a first down as he crosses the 50 and gets it to the 48. We've reached the end of the quarter, and Oregon State has the lead. Guys, let's have a look at the stats as we've played one period. Heading in the opposite directions now as we crank it up in the second. So first down here as they go back to work. They'll run it behind the big guys on the left. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
That's a fantastic play by the linebacker. He has such tremendous instincts. As soon as he sees run, he's coming downhill. He's got great speed. He gets you on the ground. That's why he's one of the best linebackers in the entire country.
They make the tackle at the 33, but he's ripped off 15 yards and picked up a first down.
This offense is clicking, everything working together really well. Coordinator, quarterback, offensive line, good rhythm, good flow. Defense is going to have to find something to kind of mess up this timing they got going on.
Looking left. He's got it. He's stopped and forced out of bounds just short of the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 11.
This defense has got to be better in coverage. You want to get off the field, you got to keep defending. You got to do something to make the offense feel uncomfortable. So far, way too easy for this offense.
And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
And man, it's nice to have a guy that is just better than your guys. And no matter what play you call, man, how about him getting in the backfield quick, penetrating, using his quickness, and using his strength to get him to the ground. That is a ball.
He stopped just short of the goal line, but they'll have it first and goal from the 1.
Important in the passing game that it's not just receivers doing all the work. You got to get running backs involved. You got to get your big fellas. You got to get the tight ends going too.
The give to the fullback. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Oregon State.
No monkey business. First down, come downhill, run the fullback. He gets in the end zone. Let's not make any bones about this. Be physical, run that thing, block those guys up front. Nice job by this offense taking care of business in the red zone.
And the extra point pushes the lead to 14. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll bring it back looking for help. Good job by the coverage unit to put a stop to that return. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. Now we'll get a chance to see if they can answer that last score, trailing by 14, Jesse.
Yeah, and at this point of the game, I feel like offensively, you should go back to what's been working for you in this game. Don't be afraid to dial up plays that you've already had success with, running it and throwing it. It's okay to repeat plays down 14 at this point.
And I would also say, Palmer, kind of understanding that my defense is not playing great, so I know offensively I got to put some good possessions together here, make something happen on this side of the football.
Make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. 3rd and long from inside their own 20. Back to pass, it's Dampier. Pulls it in, it's Casper. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere, it's a turnover.
And that's a great job by this defense, limiting the yards after catch. We know guys are going to get the football in their hands, and he gets the ball out quick, gets it to him. Nice job running to the football. When you chase the football, man, a lot of good things happen. That ball pops out, you recover it, a forced turnover.
Oregon State takes over, ready to send the offense onto the field. They've already put a couple of scores up, and they look to add to it on this drive. Can't get him to the ground. Brought down after a good pickup, and they're in the red zone at the 20.
You know, you better form tackle better on defense. You had a chance to make a big play, miss the running back, and as a result, he's getting positive yards. Defense has to do a better job of finishing.
Under fire. Nifty little scamper on this one. Enough for the first down, and he slides in safely.
It's so nice to be an offense on 2nd down in short yardage situations. Why? I can take shots. If I want to, I can just act like I'm going to run and try to get the first down, take a deep shot down the field. I can run the football. The whole playbook is open to my disposal.
He's going to lose a yard on that one.
And you got to do a better job up front right there. That run was doomed from the get-go. Nowhere to go. The back gets hit as soon as he gets the football. Hard to succeed as a running back when you get the ball and you get clobbered.
Off the play fake. He just tossed that one out of bounds. You avoid the sack, you avoid the turnover. You've got more plays here on 3rd down. Trying to pick up a first down. Making side adjustments here. Toss to the outside. He stopped short, and it's 4th down. He's going to come up about 5 yards short of the line to gain. And on 4th down, here comes the field goal unit. And the kicker delivers the 3 to salvage that drive. And now the lead is extended a little further. That lead just keeps getting fatter, and this kickoff team doing a little running. On the run from inside his own 5. And the coverage team gets the returner on the ground. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. They just haven't been able to get anything going, and they better get started or it's going to get away from them, David.
Yeah, and these are the weeks that you really wish that you were playing a video game and you could just reset the console, start over, Jesse, and make something better happen early.
They just look like they're sleepwalking in this first half, and it's not just one guy. They just haven't been playing collectively as a unit. And if I'm the head coach, I'm considering starting to give some other dudes some chances here.
Unleashes one. On target to the left. Building momentum, picking up a chunk of yardage, moving the chains out to the 34.
Ooh, that's a nice throw. Great accuracy there. And you know, when you think about Oregon quarterbacks, I know we think about guys running around a little bit, but think back to guys like Dan Fouts, A.J. Feely. How about that name? Joey Harrington, of course, Justin Herbert. These guys could thread the needle from the pocket, make all the throws. This guy here reminds me a little bit of them.
He was looking for some place to put his foot in the ground, but the defense was everywhere, and he's knocked down behind the line.
And I think that time the quarterback made the wrong read. He was trying to pitch it. He didn't have to, though. There was a lot of green grass and space out in front of him. If he just holds onto that football, he might not score a touchdown, but he's definitely going to be able to at least get positive yards. I think that's a play on the option the quarterback would like to have back.
Nice pitch and catch there, and they'll have enough for the first down. They've been steamrolled so far in this first half, David, but maybe a little positive momentum to take to the locker room.
Well, and I like you got the first down of the drive, so maybe you can build on this now. I would play with some tempo, obviously getting closer to halftime here. Maybe create some momentum, get a score here, and cut into this lead.
This offense has had trouble getting it in gear, but maybe a little life here on 1st and 10. To the air, it's Dampier. Quick completion on the out. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down. The Ducks come to the line in the hurry-up. Looking to throw on 1st down. Got a man. It's low. What a cut. Now he's loose. He's brought down, but what a play for this offense, and they'll have it at the 12-yard line.
Yeah, and the quarterback knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football, had time, spins the ball deep. Nice job by this offense, understanding what the defense is giving them and creating the explosive play.
He'll pull it on the read. And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Oregon!
And you see the option being such a pain in the behind of the best programs in college football. When you got quarterbacks that have those multiple options, they're making you play very disciplined, and the QB takes it himself, gets in for the score.
The AT unit on the field. And with the extra point, they close to within 10, down 17-7. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. He'll bring it out. It's Durant. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Oregon State has it back, and here comes the Beaver offense. This has been an impressive first half, and Jesse, they'd love nothing better than to tack another one on before the break.
And why would they want to stop at this point? Everything they've dialed up, they've been able to execute throwing and running the football game.
And how critical is it for this defense to get a stop? Down right now before the half. They can create some momentum on their side by getting a stop before the half.
They bring him down, but it'll be first down at the 42.
Great job by the offense. Listen, if the defense is going to sit back in zone, you know what you got to do. Run those crossers across the formation. And those guys that are looking at the quarterback, they're not trying to pick up receivers all the time. Make those precise throws right in those holes. Get the
going for the big play. And it's incomplete. Good play downfield by the DB.
Well, you knew you were going to see it in this game. Throwing the go route to one of the fastest players in all of college football. This receiver strikes fear in the heart of every defense because he's got elite track speed. He's going to blow the combine up in the 40-yard dash because of his wheels. Not able to connect with the quarterback on that one, but you know he has the defense's attention.
They'll come to the line at the 42, facing a 3rd and long. They'll move the tight end. On 3rd down, he drops to throw. Right on the money. Good pickup there. They'll move the chains, and they're set up at the 41. The offense calls a timeout to stop the clock.
All right, defense. It ain't working, right? They're stringing together several first downs here. We're going to need to change this up, find something we can disrupt the quarterback and mess up this offense a little bit.
Pressure is effective from the defense. They knock him down just behind the midfield stripe at the 48. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. And the Beavers now with a long way to go to pick up the first down. To the air on 2nd down. Rushes on him. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
And that's back-to-back plays that are not good for this offense. I mean, you've got to protect your main man. Your quarterback has to be upright to make decisions, to make big plays. Sacked on 1st down and a quarterback hit on 2nd down. Got to do a better job.
Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. Soft spot in the middle. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a first down. They'll use a timeout right before halftime, maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays. And here comes the field goal unit for the 2nd time tonight. He boomed it through, a 50-yard field goal showing off that powerful leg.
How about it? 50-plus, no problem. Big leg, nice accuracy. That's a big-time kick for this young man.
So they get the late field goal right before the half, and not much time after this kickoff for an answer. From inside the 10, here he comes. They'll knock him down, and that'll take us to halftime. We've played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Guys, some real edge-of-your-seat moments, and there's still 2 quarters to go here between the Ducks and Beavers. And yes, football is a game of inches, but man, is that really the case when you consider the length of some of these possessions. Look, I'm not an analytics guy, but I do know this. The team that sustains drives and just moves the sticks might be the team that comes out on top today.
Welcome to the debate. It is halftime, Week 3, 2026. A rivalry renewed. Oregon State is leading Oregon 20-7. But the score itself is almost secondary to the experiment that's unfolding. Coach Caleb Ward's youth movement, starting sophomores and freshmen over established seniors, is getting its first real test. So the question isn't just about the score, it's about validation. Is this lead proof that Ward's radical restructure actually works? I'm arguing we're seeing a structural dismantling of Oregon through pure discipline.
And I just see it a completely different way. To me, that is a house of cards. It's a fragile lead, and it's built on a game management style that I think is totally unsustainable. Ward is walking a tightrope with these young guys. Sure, it's impressive right now, but one slip and this whole thing comes crashing down.
Well, gravity hasn't touched them yet. Look at the specific gambles he took. Everyone, and I mean everyone, criticized starting sophomore James McCauley over a senior like Malik Murphy. But look at the control. McCauley is 11 for 16, 145 yards, and, this is the key, 0 turnovers. He's executing a very specific design. And then you flip to the defense. You've got freshman linebackers Theo Meredith and Tony Crowley holding Oregon to, 17 rushing yards? That is systemic control.
I'm sorry, I just don't see that as dominance. I think the score is masking a huge vulnerability. If you look at pure efficiency, Oregon's quarterback, Devin Dampier, actually has a higher QB rating. It's 157 versus McCauley's 144, and he's down by 2 scores. Why? Because Oregon is explosive. Oregon State is winning by, frankly, choking the clock. They've held the ball for almost 12 minutes to Oregon's 8. That strategy, it requires perfection from 19-year-olds. You're asking them to play flawless football just to keep the other team's offense on the sideline.
You say choking, I say leverage. McCauley isn't just managing, he's converting on the most important downs. He's 4 of 6 on 3rd down, and that includes his 16-yard touchdown run. That right there is the whole story. Efficiency beats explosiveness if the explosive team, if they never get the ball.
Okay, but isn't he playing in a phone booth? That's the ceiling here. Oregon is averaging over 10 yards per pass attempt. That's absurd. The only reason this game isn't tied is because Oregon has only run 19 total plays. If the Ducks get, say, 2 quick stops to start the 3rd quarter, the volume evens out and McCauley's safe game just won't be able to keep pace.
I'm not so sure because that defense is actively shrinking the field. You mentioned the youth movement. Freshman Theo Meredith leads the team with 6 tackles. Tony Crowley has 2 tackles for loss. Oregon is 0 for 3 on 3rd down. That motto they have, step over or be stepped on, we're seeing it happen live. These guys aren't playing scared, they are swarming.
Intensity is one thing, but is it sustainable for a full 60 minutes? I don't think so. We already saw the cracks late in the 2nd quarter. Dampier broke free for that 12-yard touchdown. That one drive proved that when Oregon decides to push the tempo, those young linebackers can get caught out of position. You're asking freshmen to maintain perfect gap discipline against elite speed for a whole game. Fatigue is the enemy of discipline.
Perhaps. But what about the psychological blow of that final drive? Logan McCreary hitting a 49-yard field goal with 2 seconds left on the clock. That shows complete mastery. They aren't just surviving the clock. They are using every last second and putting points on the board.
I see that completely differently. Settling for 2 field goals, including that little 22-yarder earlier, that's a failure. It's a failure to kill the giant when you have the chance. Leaving Oregon in the game at 20-7 is so much more dangerous than putting them away at 28-7. You're just letting an explosive team hang around, hoping your kicker can bail you out. Field goals won't be enough if Oregon wakes up.
So to sum up my side, Oregon State is dictating the terms of this game. They're winning possession, they're winning on third down, and they are winning on the scoreboard. The future that Caleb Ward promised, well, it's happening right now.
And I'd conclude that while it's been impressive, the Beavers are fundamentally relying on Oregon staying asleep at the wheel. The talent gap suggests we are in for a very, very volatile second half.
Exactly. The next 30 minutes will decide if this is a fluke or the beginning of a new era in the Pac-16.
That's right, no winner declared yet.
Ducks will kick it away to crank up the second half. And he takes this from inside the 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Oregon State takes over, ready to send the offense onto the field. He'll start the third quarter with the run. Picks up the first down. And he found plenty of running room on that one before the defense was finally able to get him down.
This is going to be a big key for him, David, with the lead here in the second half, running the football, right? Staying on the field and bleeding the clock.
Yeah, run the football. You're ahead. You can be a little bit more conservative. But again, this opens up the pass. This keeps everything in balance for this offense.
Using the quick game.
This defense is going to have to be careful. Not only do they have to worry about this guy running the football, but they've got to keep their eye on him when he runs routes, too. He is a versatile back.
The Beavers with a second and short to keep this drive moving. Wants to go up top. Pulls it in. And they reacted well to the completion, but it was too late to keep them from getting the first down. Here they come, 1st and 10 from the 48. They're going to run it to the right. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
And if this defense wants to get back in the football game, they've got to match the physicality of this offense. And that's a great start here in the second half. Like coming out, not letting them run the football, being the more physical and more aggressive team.
Going to sling it on second down. Unloads to the wideout. Got him downfield. Good, solid pickup there. Now they can start to smell it with a first down at the 31.
The defense has got to be able to make a play at some point here in the second half. You're down 2 possessions. You need to steal a possession badly. You need to have a takeaway. The coverage is going to have to be way tighter than on that last throw. Otherwise, this offense is just going to go up and down the field.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So them getting that big chunk, getting in second and short, not a good job by this defense.
Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down. The Beavers are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. To the ground to try to move the chains. They tried to go smash mouth on 3rd and short, and it did not work against this defense. And this field goal team has been busy. This kicker comes out for the 3rd time tonight. Never
Be aggressive, but man, right down the
extend.
middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. There's certainly still a hill to climb, but they've got to make sure these drives pay off. Got a touchdown last time. Can they back it up here?
Well, and it's amazing in a football game how sometimes they'll surprise you with what you do. Once you get settled and you realize what's going on, now I'm comfortable with it. Jesse, this offense looked comfortable on this last drive.
They sure did. It looked like they started to find some momentum. So now it's on this defense to stop that, all right? You're a little bit upset based on what just happened the previous drive. You've got to bow up again and go back to what was working earlier in this game.
Looking downfield, it's Dampier. Oh, they're after him. He puts a lot of air under it down the sideline.
Well, after struggling so much in the first half, you thought they would have made some adjustments here at halftime to see if they can open up this passing game. But early on in the second half, you're just not really able to get that done. Incompletion on third down in your own end, you're expecting them to punt.
Nestles it in at the 35. Coverage team gets the job done, and they'll mark him down at the 38-yard line. They'll try the right side. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
They're trying to run the football. There's just nowhere to go for the ball carrier inside. He tried to bounce it to the outside. That linebacker way too fast. He met him there and forced the TFL.
Second down, he'll throw it. Pressure coming. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down. Trying to pick up a first down. Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. They've got the screen set up. The spin, still on his feet. Major gaps in that defense, and he got loose, and they finally knock him down at the 41.
It's a nice play call there. You've got two-possession lead. You're trying to keep the defense guessing, right? Because you've got that lead, they know you're going to run it, but you still have got to be able to sprinkle in some shot plays and some vertical throws. That was really, really good thinking on that last play call by the offense.
And the Beavers will snap it on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Just a short pass to the tight end. And he can't hold on to the ball at the end of this big game. Knocked down, but not before. He gets the first down after recovering the fumble. And wait just a second. The official's going to take a second look at this one. And you know the standard is indisputable video evidence, and the officials will change the call. The Beavers are rolling down the field. Give to the back. He's brought down just running hard in the red zone, and he'll be just a few inches short.
And that would be the definition of first down success. Putting yourself in a good position. It's 2nd and inches. I can do whatever I want next. I can take a shot down the field. I can run the football and get a new set of downs. Like, nice first down execution.
Defense makes a stop, but the chains move, and it's 1st and goal from the 8. The Beavers kept this drive moving on the ground. Now back to work. Looking to throw. The quick out. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6.
This is the area of the field defensively. It really doesn't matter what they've done to get here. You got to bow up, try to force the field goal. Nice job on first down and goal, getting them tackled to the ground.
And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit.
And it's a good job by this defense, man. You drop back, you play really smart, play sound. Understand, there's not a lot of field to cover, and they couldn't fit the ball in a window. Good pass defense.
On 3rd and goal, they'll throw it. Touchdown, Beavers! And the beatdown has ensued. No step back in week 3. They have been sharp as they extend the lead. Right now, the Beavers have the Ducks all dammed up as Oregon State extends its lead.
No, you're right, Reese. Oregon State came into this one juiced up, and they've been clicking on all cylinders, David, offensively and on the defensive side.
Well, you can tell they're playing with a ton of emotion, a ton of energy. They're always the underdog. Everybody expects Oregon to win the football game. Oregon State, they have brought it.
And the extra point is good. Kickoff unit getting some extra work as this lead has really grown. He'll take the return, try to get better field position. And he's able to pick his way through the traffic nicely for a good return on that one before he's brought down. They'll crank up this drive from the 30-yard line. Looking for a man. It's Dampier. Got it in the middle. It's low. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker.
Take the profit, right? Pitch and catch. Defense in zone coverage. Receivers got some access. Just spit it out to him. Let him catch it, advance, and get what he can get.
Second down, they'll go to the air. Here comes the rush, and they've got it wrapped up at the 28.
And if this offense wants to get back in the football game, it starts up front. Like, they've got to do a better job of protecting their quarterback. A third down and long situation coming up. They'll have another opportunity. They got to keep their quarterback upright.
Here's the pressure. He'll slide and avoid the big hit.
And nowadays, you're not always going to get these quarterbacks on the ground because they're so athletic. But nice job getting the sack, let him out of the pocket there, but now forcing the fourth down, and it's decision time for this offense.
That's the end of the period, and Oregon State has the lead. This has been utter domination through 3 quarters, and the stats will back that up. One more period to go, and we'll see just how much fight they've got left in them. Down by multiple possessions, you can't come up empty on this drive. They'll go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. He lofts it high and deep down the left side. Oh, it's picked off. Didn't let him get loose on the return, but he'll take it as they have the ball at the 47.
And that's a really good job by the defense, understanding the situation of football. It's 4th down. It's late in the game. You got a multi-possession lead. Take away all the deep stuff. Make them force the football into coverage. They do, and they stamp this game.
Oregon State has it back, and here comes the Beaver offense. They had this thing in a hammerlock at halftime, and now they are really ratcheting up the pressure, David.
And I tell you what, this offense doesn't have to change a thing, Palmer. They've done what they wanted in the first half and starting off the second half in the same fashion.
And I like how they're letting different guys get involved, too. They've got so many different playmakers all over the field.
So now it's 2nd and long. From the gun, the running back has it. And he's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage by the big defensive tackle.
You got to have that defense you know you can go to in running situations. Your base defense where you say, okay, this is where I'm going to start, and I'm going to stop the run, stuff it up front. My guys play big up front. And then if I need to add some blitzes to it.
Intercepted, and finally, this defense makes a play.
Well, the defense isn't quitting. They're obviously down big here in the 4th quarter with just a little bit of time left. Obviously, it'll take a Herculean effort to come back, but could that interception be the spark that ignites this team?
To the air, it's Dampier. Quickly out to the tight end. And he laid the lumber to stop him from getting the first down.
Well, and here's the problem offensively. Because you're trailing by so much so late in the game, the defense now is going to be playing big zone coverages, and they're going to allow you to throw the ball underneath in the middle of the field, rally to make a tackle, and bleed the clock. It's going to be hard now for this offense to claw their way back in this one.
You got to like this defense, man. All game long, great job tackling the football. Like, you throw it on the perimeter, they're coming up. They're not giving the run after the catch of these receivers. A lot of times you see so much damage done after the catch. This defense has been dialed in, and the big play has been a non-issue.
And this is why checkdowns are so big. There's a lot of quarterbacks in these types of situations on third down. They just want to make the home run, highlight-type throw. But a nice job being poised and making a good decision, checking it down.
Intercepted. Big play stops the drive. Taking it the other way. They finally make the stop, and not only the huge turnover, but the big return has them set up in business.
And as a defensive lineman late in the game, man, when you know it's past, you're pinning your ears back, trying to get to the quarterback, and DBs are trying to do this. Pad them stats, get the INT. Nice job by this D.
Oregon State takes over, ready to send the offense onto the field. Their defense came up with a big stop now to see if they can turn it into points. Pulls it in, it's Wells. And he'll be run out of bounds, and these guys are piling up some serious yardage totals.
Defense just hasn't had an answer for this guy. He has been on point. This is about as good as I've seen him play at the quarterback position. And here in the fourth quarter with the big lead, he's still taking shots.
And the Beavers line it up with a 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. Didn't even come close to getting back to the line. He'll lose 8. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Now the play fake. Lets it fly. Couldn't quite hang on to that one, and this red zone defense came that close to forcing a turnover. 3rd down coming up. Trying to pick up a 1st down. They're going to throw it on 3rd and goal. And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line. So here comes the field goal unit once again. They've already kicked 3 tonight. It's good. And now the lead is even bigger.
And they just tack on more points to this big lead. Listen, fourth quarter was sitting extremely pretty. All we got to do, not give up big plays, make them earn everything they get the rest this way, and we looking pretty good.
They're really starting to extend that lead as they get ready to kick it away again. Coming out with it, it's Hunter. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. It looks as if this game is going to be one to just drag to the recycle bin, but the idea now is to finish strong and just take whatever happens in the rankings. And it breaks away in the middle. And he'll take it to the house. He got loose. Touchdown, Ducks!
Quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge, and also the anticipation, the timing. To be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone, that was a nice job by the quarterback.
Yeah, it's critical, David. Listen, a lot of times touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the coverage, hit the open guy, and let him do the rest.
And that kick was perfectly down the middle. That one's going to get a little star marked beside it on the play sheet. One play, explosive, touchdown just like that. They'd hoped to get that thing bouncing around, but the hands team is able to corral it. Oregon State has it back, and here comes the Beaver offense. They had to settle for the chip shot field goal last time, Jesse. They'd love for this one to pay off bigger.
Yeah, it just comes down to execution, too. Did a nice job out in the field, stalled a little bit once they got down to the goal line, so they just need to be a little bit more crisp here, Dave.
Yeah, and listen, I think the first part was the most important part. You got to put the drive together first to get down there. Now, when we get down there, focus on execution and getting 6 points.
Grabbed in the middle, it's Card. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before he moves the chains.
there are a lot of offensive coordinators out there in a similar situation with a lead like this. They'd definitely be running the ball at this point. They'd probably take their starting quarterback out of the game potentially, but not this unit. They are still staying aggressive. They're still taking shots. They're just trying to light up the scoreboard.
And I know you can play these late-game situations differently, but I love when you just stay physical. You run the football, you preserve the lead, you got great field position, you're in a great position to salt this clock away and get it done.
Caught near the sticks. It's Card. They'll spot the ball at the 12 after that completion.
I don't know if they're trying to get this guy Heisman consideration, but the fact that they're still throwing the ball at this point of the game with the lead like they have is surprising, I gotta be honest.
Smart move to keep it on the ground. Pulled down at the 11-yard line as they inch closer and closer to pay dirt. Going to work on second down in the red zone is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. The officials stop the clock for the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is that much closer to victory. Going to work in the red zone, they can pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. Trying play action. Moving away from pressure. And he really needed to hold on to that one, but it was not loose, and third down is coming.
Well, they were trying to sneak him out of the backfield that time into the passing game, but that did not fool anybody on defense. What a hit, forcing that incompletion.
The give to the tailback. He's knocked down a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, they're trying to get that run play going to the outside, but it's the defensive end who does a great job winning his one-on-one and forcing the negative play.
It's good, and that was dead solid perfect. And that lead grows even bigger.
And listen, y'all know in the booth and everywhere how I feel about kickers. Don't always love leaving it on their foot, so to speak, but nice job executing. He keeps doing stuff like that. I'll keep trotting him out there.
They keep pushing that lead out, and the kickoff team's getting some work. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. Not a lot of hope here, down 3 possessions late.
No, and I love this part as a pass rusher because I'm just pinning my ears back, getting to the quarterback. I know it's a pass every single time. Palmer, I'm trying to pad my stats. I'm sure you're just trying to stay upright.
Well, we're definitely just trying to stay alive at this point, but you're also trying to build confidence, too, for your next opponent. If you can find some completions late in the game, even though it looks like you're going to lose it, it's all about building on the good things you do this week so that you're out executing at a higher level.
There he goes! To the 43-yard line and a first down for this offense. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Now on first down from the 43-yard line. To throw, it's Dampier. Finds his tight end. And he was able to get away from one tackle, but plenty of help was on the way. Decent pickup on that play.
And I know this football game is over, but we got to keep fighting. We got to keep finding something, some kind of rhythm in this offense, something we can hang our hat on that we do really, really well. Listen, the intermediate passing game like this has taken over college football, short to intermediate. So if they can find some of this, it'll help their offense moving forward.
They get him down at the 34-yard line. Give him 15 yards on the pickup and a first down. Looking downfield on first down. Fires to the wideout. It's caught downfield. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a first down. Every second is meaningful, and they save a few of them with the spike. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Back to pass. He's got the tight end. That completion gets them inside the 10, and the defense is running out of room to defend. From the gun, wants to pass. Lets it go to the end zone. Right through his hands. He had a touchdown and just didn't look the ball in. It'll be fourth down. No hesitation at all. The offense stays on the field. They'll go for it. On fourth down, they'll pass for it. And he throws another interception, his third one of the night. The defense making a play to put an exclamation point on this one, and that ought to do it.
And these are tough spots for the offense to get in. You're trailing. You've got to pass the football. Defense ready for it, sitting back. A lot of DBs on the field, break on the football. Then they know the pass is coming, and they take advantage.
Their work here is virtually done. No need to take any more chances. They'll line up in victory formation. So the Beavers able to dam up those trenches and gave the Ducks nowhere to move as Oregon State takes home this rivalry game. That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.
Welcome to the debate. Today we're looking at the tape from the recent clash where Oregon State defeated Oregon 36-14. Now, if you just glance at the scoreboard, it looks like a blowout, a total dismantling. But the central question we're wrestling with is whether this lopsided scoreline reflects a masterclass in systemic control or if the underlying data suggests a much closer contest decided by a few chaotic, high-variance moments. I'll be arguing that this victory was a result of total structural dominance.
And I'm coming at this from a very different angle. I believe the score is a mirage that really masks Oregon's superior per-play explosiveness. When you strip away the noise, I'll argue the margin is largely attributable to statistical outliers, freak turnovers and some red zone bad luck, rather than one team being fundamentally superior to the other.
Okay, so let's strip this down. This wasn't just a football game, it was a strangulation. Oregon State literally took the ball and refused to give it back. The critical metric here isn't just points, it's time of possession. Oregon State held the ball for 26 minutes and 47 seconds, compared to Oregon's, 13 minutes. That is a nearly 2-to-1 ratio. Think about the physics of that. That is nearly 27 minutes of Oregon's defense stuck on the field getting gassed, while their high-powered offense just sits on the bench getting cold. That isn't just time, that's psychological warfare. Coach Caleb Ward's plan wasn't just to score, it was to erase the opponent's opportunity to even play.
I see why you think that, but let me offer a different perspective. You're basically praising them for loitering. Holding the ball is, it's meaningless if you don't do damage with it. If we look at efficiency, specifically yards per play, Oregon actually significantly outperformed Oregon State. They averaged 7.6 yards every single time they snapped the ball, compared to the Beavers' 5.8. That's a massive difference in offensive potency. The loss stems from a catastrophic collapse in ball security, 4 turnovers, not from an inability to move the ball. You see a team controlling the game. I see a team that got lucky their opponent kept dropping the rock.
I'm just not convinced by that line of reasoning because it assumes those yards matter if you can't sustain the drive. Look at the third down conversion rate. Oregon State was sitting at a comfortable 53%, while Oregon was down at an abysmal 14%. That is the definition of sustainable offense versus boom or bust. Oregon State ran the ball 31 times for 101 yards. It wasn't flashy, sure, but they were grinding out the clock and steadily accumulating points with Logan McCrary's field goals. They controlled the tempo, they forced Oregon to play left-handed.
That's an interesting point, though I would frame it differently. You call it sustainable, I call it plodding. The ceiling for Oregon was simply higher. Look at the passing yards per attempt. Oregon averaged 10.4 yards versus Oregon State's 8.3. That 85-yard touchdown strike to Justice Lowe, that is evidence of unteachable speed and explosiveness. Oregon moved the ball at will between the 20s, but completely failed to execute in the red zone, converting only 1 of 3 opportunities. That's execution variance. It's a few inches here or there, not a lack of capability.
But you can't just hand-wave away the turnovers as bad luck.
You're acting like the ball just fell out. Those 3 interceptions thrown by Oregon weren't random acts of God. They were force errors caused by a defensive zone scheme that was clearly confusing the quarterback. Look at the pressure from players like Theo Meredith and Tony Crowley. Meredith was jumping routes because he knew what was coming. The narrative that Oregon State just waited for Oregon to mess up, it completely ignores the defensive agency involved. They baited those throws.
I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that. Let me tell you why. If you look at the tape, specifically that sequence in the fourth quarter, it just screams anomaly. Manu Quintana gets an interception for Oregon State, sure. But just 3 plays later, Oregon State's own QB, James McCauley, threw an interception. The difference, Oregon failed to capitalize. Oregon State, on the other hand, converted Oregon's errors into points with ruthless efficiency. That is the definition of high variance. If Oregon scores on that McCauley pick, we're having a very different conversation.
Discipline remains the ultimate metric. Oregon State finished the game with 0 penalties. 0. Do you know how hard that is? Compare that to Oregon's inability to sustain any rhythm without shooting themselves in the foot. You can talk about explosiveness and high ceilings all you want, but if you cannot operate within the rules and protect the football, you are not the better team. You're just the flashier loser.
Okay, fair enough. I'll concede the discipline point. 0 penalties is a statistical marvel. However, context matters for that final scoreline. The final interception happened with 37 seconds left when Oregon was driving. That late turnover makes the 36-14 final look like a complete blowout, masking the competitive reality of most of the game.
Ultimately, football is a game of control. Oregon State's ability to hold the ball, force mistakes, and convert opportunities, that represents the superior strategy. They didn't just win, they dictated the terms of engagement from the opening snap. Efficiency and discipline beat raw talent when that talent is chaotic.
And that's a compelling argument. But I'd argue that winning and being the better team aren't always synonymous in a single game. Oregon State won, absolutely. But the explosiveness data suggests Oregon is a more dangerous team than this one result implies. In the end, they just beat themselves.
It's the classic battle, isn't it? The tortoise and the hare, efficiency versus explosiveness. A fascinating dichotomy to unpack. Thank you for listening.
And that's a wrap on this edition of State of the Beavers. Thanks for spending some time in the lodge with us today. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe on your favorite platform and leave us a review. It really helps the colony grow. Big thanks to our production team and, most importantly, to you for listening. Keep building, keep grinding, and we'll catch you on the next one. Until next time, this has been the State of the Beavers. Stay sharp out there.
We live every snap, every loss, every flex, every